Hi everyone, I'm back. I know I'm a little late to the season, but better late than never, right? So this last episode left me with so many plot lines and prophecies unsatisfied, and I was kind of cranky and mad when it was over. I didn't really think of it beforehand, but whose bright idea was it to hide people in the crypts? Like literally where there's a bunch of dead people and the Night King can raise dead people. Like I didn't see it coming, and it makes me feel really stupid that I never guessed that that would happen, but here we are. So there was that, but there are so many other, sad deaths, good deaths. I'm looking at you, Mormonts. That was pretty incredible. Lyanna and Jorah. Pretty sad about it because I really like those characters, but and anyways, and also the Dothraki lights going out when they face the army of the dead. That really gave me chills. The Unsullied kind of sacrificing themselves to protect the retreat. That got me in the feels. And in this episode, in terms of battle, I felt was really well done. It definitely had me on edge the whole time. I was very stressed, and it definitely was very exciting. So I thought that was really well done in that respect. But the storytelling and the ending, it just didn't make any sense to me. And not just because I didn't see it coming. I have been a very firm Jon Snow, Jon Targaryen, Aegon Targaryen now, I guess, supporter in terms of the Azor Ahai theory, or prophecy. I really don't know how I feel about Arya's involvement and Bran's lack of involvement. I mean, he's a green seer, right? So he can see what's going to happen. And maybe he didn't do anything because there's no point in trying to change things, or maybe he just knows that the future has, multiple outcomes, and this course of action will create the best outcome. I don't know. But I'm also confused because doesn't the Night King also have green seeing abilities? Where does it come down to they both know what's going to happen, so they just let it play out? Or are there multiple outcomes that are I don't know how it works. But while talking with one of my best friends, we asked ourselves whether or not this was all over now, and the answer has to be no. It just has to be. This can't be the end of the White Walkers storyline. And I know there's only 3 episodes left, but if the ending of the season climax is the battle for the Iron Throne, I'm gonna throw up, because that is so much less important than the battle for life. It just seems irrelevant now, and I don't know why they would end with that and not the Night King dying. I feel like that should have been at the very end. But anyways, that's why we kind of have this idea. So just to kind of rewind a little bit, we know that Bran and the Night King obviously have a very strong connection. I've heard many theories about how Bran and the Night King are possibly the same person, involving some sort of time travel plotline, which I could never buy. I really don't buy into the time travel stuff, especially for Game of Thrones. It just seems tacky. Bran had war guys as the Night King approached, which may have been him orging into the Ravens to keep an eye on things. Who can say for sure? I don't really know. But I was very intrigued by the exchange of looks between them as he approached, as if they were having some sort of conversation without words. There was a kind of understanding between them. And I don't know if that is significant, but I feel like it is. And then we have the Night King reaching for his weapon when Arya strikes. And he must have known she was there, right? He's a green seer. Bran's a green seer. Did he prepare for his death by warging into Bran? Is that what the Night King's mark allows him to do? I mean, Bran knew that he was coming for him and seemed pretty resigned by it, so maybe Bran knew that this would happen and that the Night King would warg into him. This is all speculation. I have very little evidence to support this, but I guess my theory that I would like to be true is that Bran is now the Night King, but not due to time travel, due to possession. And the Red Woman, saw this coming too, I think, and saw Arya's involvement in this, because she did tell her, I see darkness in you, and that in that darkness, eyes staring back at me, brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes you'll shut forever, we will meet again. And when she originally told Arya this, there was no emphasis on the blue eyes, so many people linked this to her involvement in the House of Black and White, and wearing other faces and killing people. But I guess either the eyes that she will shut forever are related to the White Walkers and shutting the blue eyes forever, or maybe it's her own eyes that she will shut forever. Maybe she loses herself here. Maybe it's Bran and the Night King's green seer eyes and the eyes of the werewolves and the children of the forest. Maybe she shuts down all of this stuff by her actions, or maybe it is just the White Walker's eyes. I don't know. I'm definitely going to make a more in-depth theory about this in the future, but I just wanted to get this out there as a little discussion first while the episode's pretty fresh. I think it would be interesting if Bran really was the Night King now, and that either he became a White Walker or she became a White Walker, or whatever plan he has, because this would make her a literal god of death and would explain why the Red Woman was so nervous about her and saw such a darkness in her. Like, I don't think that her killing the Night King and being an assassin would really unnerve Melisandre when she sees the darkness in her. So maybe it's much more sinister. Maybe Bran and Arya are now on the wrong side. And this would be good for me because, George R.R. Martin said the story has a bittersweet ending. And none of the Azor Ahai stuff has been settled, in my opinion. Like, I still think it was Jon. I still think Jon's Azor Ahai. We haven't seen Lightbringer. But apparently I'm wrong. Apparently there's an interview with the show writers where they say that Jon was a red herring all along and that Arya is the prince that was promised. Arya always did want to be a boy, so we have that kind of thing happening. Arya may have been born again in the House of Black and White, but I still don't believe Jon was just a red herring. I mean, Melisandre, she did see a vision with blue flowers coming out of the wall, which a lot of people related to Jon Snow because the blue flowers were representing Lyanna Stark, and the wall would be Jon. But Arya has also been compared to Lyanna many times, so maybe there is something to this. Also, I was confused why Beric Dondarrion was brought back to life so many times just to die in this battle, but he was dying to save Arya. The same for the Hound. He was protecting Arya the whole time, and he kind of also had a second chance there. Maybe it is because she was the prince that was promised, but I just wouldn't really be happy if that's how this ends. Like, I don't think I guess she's pretty badass as a character, but I really wanted this to be Jon's moment. And what about the Night King touching her? Like, he's only really touched her, I think, in the show so far. Would that leave her with a mark similar to Bran's? I mean, Bran was touched in a vision, not really in real life, but he's got that mark. So I don't know if that is significant or if that maybe made the connection between the Night King and Bran strong enough for this theory to happen. It's very speculative theory right now, but I'm going to work on it and see if I can either refine it or come up with a different theory. I don't know. We also have Melisandre ask Arya, what do we say to the god of death? Not today. That is definitely a recurring phrase in the series that we first saw with Syrio Forel, which was her sword fighting teacher, her water dancing instructor from Bravos. I'm not going to begin to unpack that now or theorize if there's any relationship there, but I was also interested by an article I read accentuating another common saying, what is dead may never die, the House Greyjoy words. And we do see Theon there with Bran and Arya, and he dies protecting them. And that's why I wonder if the Night King is really dead. What is dead may never die. Can he really die? Like, is he even a being that can die, or is he more of a concept? Like, there's got to be more to this story, in my opinion. And what about Lightbringer? Like, Arya has not fulfilled that part of the prophecy. Like, it would be more interesting if Jon now has to kill Bran or his own family to save the realm. Like, I still think Jon is Azor Ahai. I still think he's got to give some sort of sacrifice to get this weapon. I still think it's Dawn. I don't know if I'm just clinging to nothing here, but like, what about Hallandreed? Like, maybe I'm mixing too much of the book plot with the movie plot. Like, I know that the show can't go into all of this detail the way the books can, and so they're probably changing some details, but it's not satisfying. Okay, let me know your thoughts on this because I would love to hear them. It just seems so anticlimactic that this is how it ends for the Night King. Like, if that plot line's over now and doesn't continue into the last 3 episodes of the season or whatever, is it now just Jon and Daenerys versus Cersei? Like, Why is Cersei the final enemy? Why is the battle for the Iron Throne gonna be the climax of the season when it should be the battle for life and death? Like, that's just messed up. Like, why is the battle for the Iron Throne even relevant? Like, why does that come after the battle for life? Like, it would make me so mad. I think this is more just HBO not wanting to let go of Cersei or Lena Headey, but I guess that's just the way it is. I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, not sure. Not sure, guys. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.